Rosemary M. Collyer, a federal judge whose rulings touched some of the most sensitive corners of American national security law, has died at the age of 80. Judge Collyer passed away on June 7 in Rockville, Maryland, at a nursing facility, from complications of ovarian cancer. Her husband, Philip Collyer, confirmed the cause of death. Nominated to the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia by President George W. Bush in 2002, Judge Collyer spent nearly 2 decades on the bench before retiring in 2020. Her docket was remarkably wide-ranging. She heard cases involving government surveillance, prisoners held at Guantánamo Bay, and even the question of whether the insurance giant MetLife posed a systemic risk to the broader financial system. Those who knew her work described her judicial temperament as measured and independent. James Boasberg, the chief judge of the D.C. District Court, said she did not govern from a sweeping ideological framework. He compared her approach to that of former Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, incremental, case by case. She might have been a Bush conservative, Boasberg said, but on the bench she was independent and balanced. Perhaps her most publicly consequential moment came in 2019, when she was serving as the presiding judge of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, a secretive body that oversees the government's national security wiretapping requests. In that role, she issued a stinging rebuke of the FBI over its handling of applications to surveil Carter Page, a former advisor to President Trump whom investigators had suspected of acting as a link between the Trump campaign and Russia during Moscow's covert effort to influence the 2016 election. In pointed language, Judge Collyer wrote that the frequency with which FBI personnel made representations that turned out to be unsupported or contradicted by information already in their possession, and the frequency with which they withheld information damaging to their own case, called into question the reliability of other FBI surveillance applications as well. She ordered the Bureau to submit proposed reforms to how it sought approval for national security wiretaps targeting Americans. Her national security record extended beyond that case. In 2014, she dismissed a lawsuit brought by the parents of 3 American citizens killed in U.S. drone strikes in Yemen in 2011. One of those killed was Anwar al-Awlaki, a cleric who had aligned himself with al-Qaeda. Judge Collyer ruled that the plaintiffs could not seek monetary damages, though she did affirm that government officials must act within constitutional limits when targeting American citizens abroad. Critics, including attorneys from the Center for Constitutional Rights and the American Civil Liberties Union, who jointly brought the suit, argued at the time that the judge accepted the government's designation of al-Awlaki as a terrorist without independently examining that claim. Rosemary Collyer leaves behind a record defined less by sweeping declarations than by careful, often difficult judgments at the intersection of individual rights and national security. She was 80 years old.